one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
From the heart of Appalachia, located under a shopping mall near the city that moves mountains, you're listening to Here To Chew Bubblegum.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings.
I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
What's up, flockers?
And welcome to Here To Chew Bubblegum, episode 87. As you guys can tell, we do have a new theme song. I hope that you guys like it. It is a little bit different, but I think it fits us very, very, very well.
I really like it. It came out good.
Thank you very much. And that is courtesy of Karl Casey at whitebataudio.com. And the name of the song that we laid the soundbites over is called Black Lotus. And the people at SiriusXM that are reviewing our demo that we sent, they gave feedback, and the first feedback they gave was the opening theme song, so that's why we changed it up. Rebecca, please introduce everyone for the group, the podcast, the show today. We have a great show lined up for today.
This is going to be a show and a half right here. So we have the ever lovely Miss Sonia, 2A Patriot Mama. I'm sure a lot of you know her on TikTok. You were on the news recently too for your TikTok, right?
It was the end you know.
Yeah.
That's
and
the
then
time he has actually put me on there. I said, "Oh, okay."
And then we have OEF, and you guys are partnered together, and we're gonna get into that. And then we also have we're this way. We also have Dr. B and Goose. You're gonna tell that story, right? But
yes.
I think the whole theme of this episode and why the reason that I wanted to really have you guys on here as well is the inspiration that comes from this. Being able to watch you on a social media level and also know you on a personal level too, and see that growth and everything that you guys have conquered and overcome and just keep stepping up even when they tell you no is truly inspirational. And I think inspiration is something that is far and few between, genuine inspiration. And I'm so thankful to be a part of that and experience that with you and support you in that.
And I'm so happy to have you as one of my very good friends.
So why don't you guys explain what you do? I know there's some big news that you guys want to release as well, so you have the floor.
Okay, so most of everybody watching, has watched me grow on TikTok over the past 2 years. As a very, very censored person, we all know that something is just not right out there. My thing was when I started researching, starting off with conspiracy theories, I found the child trafficking. But with that, I dug deeper. And while everybody is more concentrating on the elites and everything, what I found was it's happening in your own towns. It's happening all over the world. Nobody's talking about it. It's happening in schools. It's teachers. It's coaches. It's everywhere. So if you think that it cannot happen to you, it can. It's not just the conspiracy theories. It's way deeper. And my thing was, why is nobody talking about this? Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's doing anything. And a lot of the things that I hear is, it's too much for me. I can't handle it. Well, think about the kid that it's happening to, that's locked in a basement somewhere, or the babies that are being farmed for this to be sold, for organ harvesting and everything. And it's global. It is global. So with that, I set out on a mission, and I haven't stopped. And with that, we have built Dark to Light, He handles a lot of the cyber. I had met him through TikTok, and he was going after predators online. Now, that's something that I'm not familiar with, how the cyber world works, how to, find these people behind their names or whatever, their profiles. And that's what him and his team does. So with that, we decided to partner together and go full force. And we created Dark to Light. And that's exactly what we want to do, is we want to bring all of this darkness to light so everybody sees and can get up and start spreading awareness, get involved in their communities. And that's what we want to build out of this. And the podcast that we do have coming is educate everybody. It's not a news podcast. We want to educate everybody on all levels on how to get involved, whether it's with legislation, with, your community, how to keep your kids safe online, how to get involved with the organizations who, I've gone and I've now have a couple of founders that I'm friends with off of the app that we are helping. There's one in particular that is brand new. They're building homes for the victims. Everybody thinks, they see an article and these kids, these victims are rescued, and then that's it, they're fine. No, there's a process that goes on with this. So this particular organization is fairly new, and we are going full head on, trying to fund them as best we can. And we are actually going to go down there to their Burn It Down ranch, and we're going to get hands-on helping them build the tiny homes for these victims. We're getting our hands dirty. We are going head on with all of this.
I've got chills as you were saying that. Thank you both very much for what you do for helping the victims and the children. And you're exactly right. People do say, it's bad it exists, but I can't handle it. And it takes very special people like you two to go after it. And thank you for that. We need more people in the world to step up. If they did, the world would be a better place.
Well, that's our mission. We want to get as many, that's one of the biggest questions we get. How can we help? How can we help? And that's why we decided, let's start this podcast. Let's, make all these, why it's been delayed. We wanted to launch about a month ago, but it's been so delayed because we've been making connections. I have an amazing group of people on board with Dark to Light. One of them is actually in the chat, Mikey. He networks. He has a lot of political connections. We are trying to get to Illinois. It's just that it's midterm, so he has a lot of connections with politicians. And I'm getting on a plane when we can get the scheduling right, and he has gathered a group of people, somebody that's running for Congress, somebody that is actually seated, a legal attorney that actually is the author of many child trafficking bills. And we are going to go down there and we're going to sit down and we're going to start drafting up some type of legislation to go in for harsher sentencing. The sentencing is a joke. The fact that these judges can pick and choose how they want to sentence them or get favors, it is an absolute joke. To me, how is it that a crime against a child, one state, same crime, one state, you're only going to get, let's say, a year. Cross the line to another state, their laws are same crime, 24 months. It shouldn't be. Same crime all across the board. It doesn't, and the fact that the judges have the ability to say, nah, you know what, I'm going to give him 3 months. When he should have been getting 5 years. And then what happens is they get back out on the streets and they're reoffending again and again and again. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. Our kids are not safe. And people think that it's just, politician. It's more than that. It's way more than that. It's in your schools. Most of the time, these predators are in positions where they have access to children. Right there. I just reported on a school yesterday. The mother now filed a lawsuit against the entire school district because there was a teacher that was her daughter, 11 years old. They all knew about it. Nobody reported it to law enforcement. And it happened to multiple girls. 11 years old. And they left him in position. They didn't do anything about it. It just blows my mind.
It is heartbreaking. And, you know, you two, we talked a little bit backstage. You know what I do. And everybody that listens and follows the shows knows what I do for a living. If there's anything that I can help you, Mama and OEF, all you have to do is reach out to me, and I will do anything that I can do. I have seen this firsthand. I have gone with social services, child protective services, and got kids out of the home. And it's been several years since this happened. And, you know, I don't want to bring the show down or to a screeching halt, but people do need to be aware of this and step up and do something. And several years ago, and I still have nightmares about this to this day, and this was 20 years ago. I went with Child Protective Services to remove a 2-year-old from the house, and the 2-year-old girl's uterus was hanging outside of her body where she had been raped so much. And all I could do after I got out of that situation was cry. And I cried for a very long time. And I still have nightmares about that. But we did get that child out. And I still, to this day, never forget that. And sometimes I look the girl up on Facebook, and she's, you know, appears to be totally fine now. But, you know, that's just sad. I mean, it's more than, there's no word to describe what evil does something like that to a 2-year-old baby.
Yeah. In 7 years of researching this and looking into how deep this is and how bad it is, the stories that I have come across of what has been done to these children and how these monsters could actually do this. I'm talking newborn babies with hospital bracelets still on them as victims. And this is global. Yes, the United States has the largest customer for pedophiles. We are infested. Infested. It is disgusting. That's why they want to bring these kids here. That's why they want to bring undocumented. They want to cross them here because the customer's here, the money's here. If you think that the drugs is the largest business in this world, you are so mistaken. This is the largest business in the world. Yeah, they document, let's say, just missing kids alone a year in the U.S. I think it's around 800,000. I don't even look at these numbers because of the research that I look at it this way. They're talking about documented numbers. Imagine you took a bag of rice and threw it up into the snow, and everybody picked up and they counted. Oh, we found, let's say, 800,000. Think about all of the pieces of rice that you didn't find in that snow. That's how bad it is. They're just slapping numbers because that's what they found. The undocumented is the one that I'm concerned about. The ones that were born in captivity, the baby mills, that they're selling them across the world. Those are the kids that I'm concerned about because nobody knows who they are, where they are. And I'm going to say $150 billion a year business? Nah, I'm going to say it's probably triple. I'm going to say it's probably triple. It is the darkest business I've ever seen in my life. As a mother, as somebody that just absolutely loves children, I can't imagine how anybody can look a child in the face and do this to them. It's disgusting. And they all deserve one sentence in my mind.
And I probably know what that sentence is, and I'm 100% behind you. Do you think that more people are becoming aware of this and actually trying to do something based on, you know, on YouTube, you have the, I can't think of the name of the organization. It might be the Texas Pedo Finders, where they actually go out to different stores like Walmart and Target, and they bust these pedophiles that they've been chatting with. And it seems like there's more and more states that have those. Do you think that that's bringing more awareness? And people are, I mean, is that a point? I mean, I know some people do it for views. Their heart's not in the right place. But do you think that that is helping in some way?
No, because they're just random people that are out, you know, doing this for videos and this and that. And a lot of the times these people don't even get arrested. Just so they make a video, they out them, it's forgotten about. So, you know, I'd rather law enforcement do, obviously I love sting operations because no child is harmed. However, the bittersweet part of that is they get lesser sentencing because there was no child involved. And then they're back out on the street again.
Well, and some sting operations take, you know, a while to investigate. Some do take years. Some do take, I mean, normally you're like looking in our area about 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. You want to, actually, we have a sting going on right now we can discuss.
Please.
Would you like to discuss how that came about to us?
Yes.
OEF?
Yeah, sure. It all started off as a very simple, this is a predator targeting my child, can you please look into it type deal. And we took it on, just as that, like with anything else. And we looked into it and found out it was something much, much greater. He went from being one person targeting that one child with these disgusting words and lewd videos that he would send to people who thought were 9, 10, 11 years old, to we ended up finding out he's linked to 27 different schools in just one area. That's not to mention the ones overseas that he's also linked to. And what he does is the same motif for every one of these. He finds kids at the school, becomes friends with a few of the kids. That way they have a knowledge of him. They're a little bit desensitized to him. So then he goes and talks to the ones he thinks are attractive. And they'll be like, oh, well, how do you know him? Oh, he's so-and-so's friend. Now he's got his in the door. And he does this to every kid. Every kid. And it doesn't stop. He's very adept. He knows what he's doing. We actually have decoys working on him right now to try and get as much information as we can before he goes, before he disappears. It's a process. It's a long process. But people like him need to be stopped because God only knows what he's really done. There was one time he sent a text message to the decoys talking about the way it would taste. Saying this to a child and saying, oh, well, the 9-year-old said it tasted like this, but the 11-year-old said it tasted like this. Which is confirming he's done these things with a 9 and 11-year-old. Who else's children is he going to meet with until he's caught?
Now, mind you, we took this on from a friend of mine through the app. Her daughter was smart enough to go to her mom about this when she was getting these messages, and it opened up this whole can of worms, and it turned into, we thought it was a one-person case. No, it is so much bigger, and it's been going on for a couple of months now, and I've seen screenshots where he thinks he's talking to a 9 or a 10-year-old. Meanwhile, it's one of his decoys. And if I could have jumped through the phone, I would have. I cannot even begin to tell you what I saw in these messages of what he is saying to what he thinks is a child. Disgusting. So he needs to be caught. So it is tedious. What a lot of people think is that, you know, it's going to happen fast. But no, it's very tedious because I see how he is back. I have seen the screenshots where he does start backing off a little bit and the decoy is trying to pull him back in. And, you know, there's things being said. And I'm like, oh, God, don't lose him. Please don't lose him. Please don't lose him. We got to get this guy. This is a big guy. So, yeah, but these are the types of things that why I teamed up with IP Conflict. Like, I am not educated on how to do that. He has people that have backgrounds in these things and connections with certain law enforcement and government officials and stuff like that. Trusted. I will say that, trusted. Because I don't trust a lot of it that's out there to handle this type of thing. So here we are.
Now, and I did mention how people do the videos and post on YouTube. Do not, I repeat, do not go online pretending to be somebody trying to pick up a young child, because you're not trained in that. You're not certified. You will get in a lot of trouble. Even though your intentions may be good, you have to be on a specific list and certified to be able to do that, to get these child predators. If you do that and you're not certified and you don't have the credentials to do that, you will get in a lot of deep shit. So do not do that, because that does not help.
No.
And, in the last probably 5 years, we've actually busted two back in my area, and they've both got 10 years. One guy tried to take the coward's way out, and he tried to kill himself, but that didn't work. And he thought that he was going to get to stay in a mental hospital. And after he served 30 days in a mental hospital, then he was put in jail. So, and that was just 2 years ago. So he still has 8 years to go.
You want to talk about also what's been going on with people making videos, so that maybe whoever's listening will understand why making videos on these accounts?
While he goes into the... Oh, am I echoing?
I'll post it in Twitch. Go ahead. I'll post the email address.
Okay.
OEF, you want to talk about the videos and stuff when you're in the middle of investigations and people start making videos and the accounts ghost?
Yeah. I came across a big one today. I actually think this is the one that ruined Mills. I thought the other one was, but when I looked at the numbers of this, it was awful. This girl had 1.3 million likes on the video. 1.3 million. Her follower count was only 50,000. So she made her following off of this, because when I looked at screenshots from before, she only had like 1,200 followers. She gained like 48,000 followers from this stupid video. Meanwhile, he's gone. The problem is, people say they want to help, they want to advocate, they want to become a part of this or do something. The problem is, they make these videos where they try to, quote-unquote, oust them, where they say, here's the guy, go get him. Well, and the problem with that is, we haven't got a chance to do any investigations yet. So now, this guy knows somebody's coming. He's going to delete everything. He's going to ghost, and then he's gone. Now he's going to move on to other children in a safer area where he's not a hot topic. They don't realize that. All they think about is the views, the clout that they're going to get. They think protecting kids is some fucking niche. It's not. It's not something to be used for views or followings, things like that. It's meant to be used to genuinely protect these kids. They don't want to use it for that. They want to use it for growth on social media. So they don't care about the fallout. They don't care who we lose. It doesn't bother them, because the next day, when there's another predator, I'm sure somebody's going to send them the video, and then here goes another one. But hey, there are a few thousand views and followers, right? That's the kind of shit we got to deal with.
Now, there is one, the one I was talking about on Texas. I've actually, and I think it may be Texas Pedo Exposed. I've not watched a lot of their videos. I have watched like one or two. And the guy was actually arrested. The cops came. It was a small town in Texas. He watched the video and looked at all the evidence they had. And the guy was already on the sex offender registry's list. And he did get arrested on the spot. That is the only one that I've seen where somebody actually did go to jail over it. But I totally agree with you. People do it for views. I mean, that's not, your heart's not in the right place. Don't do it for that. Do it to help people.
How many times have we talked about, making the giant posts on Facebook and TikTok and shit about purposely going out and filming from the start, someone paying it forward or someone going out and doing something good. No, if you're videoing it from the start, if you set out with the intentions to make sure you videoed every part of what you do that's good for some stranger, it's not good for a stranger.
That is, and I've said this on the show before, that is a pet peeve to me. If you're specifically doing something to get views, shame on you. You know, that's just a shitty thing to do, to bring awareness to somebody that's down on their luck and you're actually doing this. Now, if you video it to actually tell their story or make a difference,
right,
and your heart's in the right place and theirs is in the right place, that's totally different. But if you're doing it for yourself, you suck,
Couldn't agree more. We just talked about this the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I could very easily have my phone open every time I go to the grocery store and video my trip there, because at some point someone's going to come up to me and say, "Hey, you're tall. Can you reach this for me?" And I'll say, "Yeah," and I'll do it for them. And Rebecca can attest to that. Every time I'm out, every time some little old lady or person will come up to me and say, "Excuse me, sir, can you reach this for me?" Yeah, no problem. And I go about my day. But there are people that actively go out and look for that shit to do. It's like, oh, we got to find this person. Oh, and like, if you're watching a shittily recorded video of something that reminds you of a safari hunt that you used to see on the Discovery Channel for good deeds, is it really a good deed? No,
it's not.
Yeah, that's actually one of my members of Dark to Light that you just posted his comment. He's talking about OUR Rescue, which is another organization that we support. They have online, a link that you could actually get certified as a volunteer with them. They also have so much. I have my own fundraiser which I love that they have on their website, because I'm one that does not like to touch money whatsoever, but I love to raise money for these organizations. So OUR Rescue actually is one of the organizations that has the option. You could open your own fundraiser directly through them under your own name, and you can edit it however you want. So I opened it a couple of months ago. I have it opened as of right now until New Year's Eve. So I spread it around as much as I can. So right now I think we are over $4,200 we've raised, and it goes right in their hands. I don't touch anything. I love it. So they get that money. What I was finding was a lot of people, I try to, pass around the organizations that we support, and I tell them, you have to go to their website to donate to them. And, I know that a lot of people do, and we've been very blessed with a lot of people donating, but I wanted to find a way to still raise money for them without constantly asking for donations. So I decided to come up with my own merch shop. So I researched, having a background in fashion designing and graphic designing with my fashion career. I designed out an entire line of geared towards this topic. A lot of it sarcastic, as far as pedophile hunter, so there's an entire merch shop, and now everybody can shop through there. And it's doing two things for me. One, they're wearing a shirt that sends a message, whether it's sarcastic or serious, and 100% of the proceeds are going to the organizations every month. Within the first month alone, we were able to, the first week alone, I raised $1,100 in profit with proof, and donated it to Change Unchained, who is fairly new, and that's the one we're going to go hands-on and help build tiny homes in Florida. 2 weeks later, another $1,000 profit has been pulled out. I'm waiting for it to hit, and it's going over to Change Unchained again. And he reached out to me. He couldn't be more grateful, because he's in a situation where their funds are depleting. People are just not donating. So I said, we are going to help you as much as we can. A lot of people, I'm finding that, they like having an item in their hand, knowing that their money is going directly to, but it's also helping me because they're walking on the streets or in the stores, and people are stopping them saying, "Where did you get that shirt from?" One of the sarcastic ones is it says my favorite animal to hunt, and there's a hunter with a rifle, and underneath it says pedophiles. So people are stopping them, you know, and asking where they got their shirt from, and you know, they're coming on the site, they're buying them, they're wearing them. It's spreading, and we're only a month in, and so far we have over $2,100 that has either been donated or is getting donated this week. So I am more than happy to keep, and every week I'm going to keep putting out new designs and keep it fresh and new and keep the message out there and keep the money rolling into these organizations. I'll do whatever I have to do.
Hey, Sonia, have you heard of Truckers Against Trafficking?
Yes.
Have you looked into?
I actually, there is a trucker that I am friends with off the app that was part of that. He's also created his own group as well that is exactly like that. I am going to be getting on the phone with him within the next couple of days. We scheduled, we didn't set the date and time, but within the next couple of days, we are going to be talking. Yep.
I in our area, there happen to be a lot of folk that would be on the side of the Truckers Against Trafficking, and they proudly display their membership tags. So that's why I was asking.
You know, the area too that you guys live in now, and I've thought this for the last 15 years, because you can look at missing persons cases of, you know, teenage girls, even up to like their mid-20s, and you have short blonde hair, blue eye girls in, you know, the area that Dirty Dan and Rebecca live in, just north of them in Indiana, Ohio, south of us in Tennessee. And I've always thought that there's been a serial killer that was a truck driver that may be targeting those women, because these women, and like I said, I've been thinking this for the last 15 years, and I think there's at least 20 in like a big area that are not that far apart that have never been found.
There was actually a trucker talking about something like that the other day. That he was talking to another one of the guys there about some of the people that we have seen and come and then all of a sudden stop coming. And they got on that topic, and I don't know that I would put him as a person of interest, because he just seems a little too young. I think he was more intrigued by it and continued the conversation. Right. But
well, I mean, you know, no one has ever come out and said, hey, we have a serial killer in this area, but just based on where these people...
Because no one's ever found them.
Well, you know, no one's ever found the people that are missing, but based on where this is at and the mileage and everything, it would look like a regional trucker. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. You know, that's what it looks like to me. So...
It's like a 320-mile radius.
Yes. You are correct there.
Yeah, that's a fairly decent LTL route. So,
Mama and OEF, is there anything else that you want to talk about? And if not, I may move on and just introduce Benjamin and tell a little bit of background about him for anyone that don't know him.
No, you could start with Dr. Benjamin. If I come up with anything in my head, I'll let you know.
Yes, please. You know,
buzz in.
Yes,
I'll buzz in, but I won't interrupt with your story.
No, jump in, please.
No.
Dr. B is also known by Benjamin. You can find him on his new TikTok page, Benjamin Story 2022. Benjamin, welcome to Here to Chew Bubblegum. I'm sure you'll be back a lot more, and we look forward to having you. Tell us just a little bit about yourself. You can move up closer to the microphone.
Well, hello everybody. First of all, hi. And my name is Benjamin Lewis Bennett. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. And just happy to be on the show. Okay.
Now, how did me and you meet?
We went what we will call college. I had to go to college for a little while, and I met him. Nah, I'm just joking. I had to go. I got into some trouble, and kind of have work release. So where I work at is like the city of awesome people, man. Shout out to Nick and Tyler and maintenance program. The whole city of actually been pretty good to me. But we're out working, you know what I'm saying, doing work release with these guys, and actually The first day I met him, he had somebody was leaving on the maintenance department, I believe. And he invited us over there to eat some pizza, you know what I'm saying? We cut the grass and take care of the park behind the police station. And he invited us in there to eat a bunch of pizzas. And normally, you know what I'm saying, that's why y'all got to follow our story, Benjamin's Story 2022. I'm from South Carolina, so, and now I'm in Kentucky. So, first of all, me and Goose keep it real about anything that we talk about. So, that's what it's all designed. But for a black man right now in today's society at that time we didn't know each other, so we wasn't friends. We wasn't nothing. I was just a person. He was a person, and I was meeting him. But normally I wouldn't even talk to a police officer. But this man was so approachable and the complete opposite of what today's society got saying about good officers. First of all, let me tell y'all this. He's a little modest. The man is not just a police officer. He's assistant chief of police. So, I mean, he's yeah, I'm telling on him. He like to tell on me. He ain't just no regular cop.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah.
There, that one. So, it was just different than what I'm used to, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of jerks, man, you know what I'm saying? These police officers, state troopers. I mean, even if you're following the law, you can come into a bad police officer. You can get a speeding ticket. It's not always just crime. You can get pulled over. Anybody can get pulled over today, even doing the right thing, and just come in contact with a bad police officer. You know what I mean? But it was complete opposite, man. And we actually was inside of the police department eating pizza. And he was telling me about his show, you know what I'm saying, which I'm dying to hear some stuff because I don't know about them aliens and all that extra. But I'm about to learn. He said that I'm going to learn a lot of things from y'all and hear a lot of things, and I'm open-minded to that because if I call people and tell people it's aliens and shit flying around here that shouldn't be flying, people going to believe me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But no, we were in the police department talking. I never thought I'd probably see this man again in my life. Never, ever. I just thought that was probably a one-time deal. But we kept coming back and forth, and every time me and this man would talk, we just talk. I come and speak to him, he'll talk. Just very friendly, very approachable. It's, like I said, something that I'm not used to. In my career, I did a lot of things that people probably haven't done. You know what I mean? And first of all, you don't want to be seen talking to a police officer, and then you don't talk to a police officer, and then you're supposed to be scared to talk to a police officer, especially as a black man. But you follow my story, I'm gonna give what my story is all about is, okay, me and this man met. What really makes me feel and know this man is on a mission and just awesome to me. I mean, I don't ride no other man, and I believe in God, Jesus, and that's the only person I praise, so I'm not praising no man, but as this man got to meet me and check my record, and instead of my record is supposed to make him run far away from me. He's not supposed to want to deal with me. He's not wanting just looking at my record. He's not want to. He's supposed to spoke to me and got on through his business. My record actually brought the man closer to me, I believe. It made him get more involved. It seemed like he cared more instead of, oh hell no, I'm not messing with this man right here, man. You know what I mean? He got a lot going on, and I started thinking about that, and every day we're just in contact, and he's checking on me and making sure I'm good, and we're just talking, and I'm telling him stuff I'm 43 years old, I'll be 44 in October. I've never told people in my life. I mean, we talk about my kids, my father, my childhood, okay, and a lot of people know that I was locked up, and I did 8.5 years in prison in the 90s, and you're looking at a guy that father did 24 years in the military, first of all. I've been to different countries. I lived in Bamberg, Germany for 3 years. I was born in California, so my point is saying all this, I came from a little something. We wasn't just broke. And I come from a good family, you know what I'm saying? My father, we lived on military bases, but that still don't mean that shit can't happen, because it happened. I was supposed to be one of them children that supposed to be not goodish two shoes, but I shouldn't have never went down the path that I went down. There was really no excuse for it. But it happened, but everything happens for a reason. And my story is just, it's been rough being Dr. B. It's been rough. I lost my mother to cancer. I want to get into certain things, but I don't want to get into certain
Right,
things.
right. Well,
About my story.
Yeah, you don't have to tell, totally everything.
Right.
And Benjamin, for those of you, Benjamin is a little bit shy. One of the things that he told me is he hates talking in front of crowds. But he's coming out of that because we had talked about him doing motivational speaking. Because he, one-on-one, some of the stuff that he tells me, it is just mind-blowing, and it draws you into him and his story. And he wants to do motivational speaking. And when I went and picked him up, when he got released, and I think it's ironic that, I went in uniform in a police car to pick him up as he was getting released from the detention center.
I can see Goose pulling up going, beep, beep, hey, buddy.
But when I go in to get him, he introduces me to this lady that he talks to that is with an organization, and they're looking for motivational speakers. So her and Benjamin have already set this up. We've not set a date up, but Benjamin's going to go talk to some people at this organization that this lady works for. And to clarify, I did not look his record up the first time me and him talked because he's a human being. I can look at a file or a record. That tells me what you've done. That does not tell me who you are, what type of person you are. I did not look his record up until he told me he was going to be getting out. He would like to stay around here. And I told him that I may be able to help him. Now, before I go to people that I know that could help him, I know when I tell them his story, they're going to say, well, what did he do? So I looked his record up then. We'd probably known each other a month at that point before I even looked his record up because it made no difference to me. Right. Because like I said, that told me what he did. That don't tell me what type of person he is. And he is my best friend. He is my brother. I thought yesterday about canceling the show today. We had a very tragic situation at a town next to us that happened earlier in the week. It's even made national news, and it's stuff that don't even happen. It's not supposed to happen. It was a mass shooting, and there were 4 officers killed and several injured. And, things happened on the day that it happened, and I left work early that day, and there's no doubt in my mind that if I had not left work when I did, I probably would have been involved in that. And so I am thankful for my brother. And I kept telling him on Friday when I got him and picked him up, and we went and took care of him and got him what he needed and fed him lunch. And his face, when he picked up a real fork, he looked at me with a big smile on his face. I'm like, what are you doing, man? He's like, this is a real fork. He's like, I've not held one of these in 2.5 years. I'm like, well, I can get him to get you a plastic one if you want me to. He's like, no. This one's fine. Yeah. And if it was not for him and 2 of my coworkers Friday to just distracting me with, what I'm trying to deal with and process of some great people that was lost that I know, he helped me. He has helped me, and he will help me. And we had an email from one of the show listeners that I want to read. And I've not told you about this. I've not read it to you. We have a listener named Firewater. Great guy. Love you, Firewater.
Firewater is...
Hey, Dr. B. Just get used to this real quick because Goose will do this to you all the time.
He's saying I put you on the spot and embarrass you all the time.
He does that all the time.
Yeah, I did, and I've got a video saved because, like I said, he's really shy, and I will tell this story real quick before I read the email.
And he's a comedian.
And when we were going to make because on Thursday we made the first TikTok video. Him getting out, me coming to pick him up, how, I'm a white police officer, he's a black man in America. We shouldn't even be doing this, but here we met and there's a connection and we've got each other's backs. Right. And he was really shy. So when I started recording first, I'm like, and I played it down like it was real, and I'm like, this is my friend Benjamin. And I turned the camera to him And I'm like, say something. And he starts talking. I'm like, Benjamin loves the dick, don't you, Benjamin? He's like, no, 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 no. And he's, he's turning away. And so I'd love to embarrass Benjamin, put him on the spot. But it's all done in fun and love, brother. But Firewater says, hey, y'all, Firewater here. I just wanted to drop a line and say how excited I am to hear Benjamin is finally out. I hope he is doing well and is ready for his new extended family. I hope he realizes being Goose's brother from another mother that with Rebecca's fan base, Dirty Dan's fan base, and the Here to Chew Bubblegum fan base, he now has one of the biggest extended family and support systems. Please let Benjamin know that we're all here for him, and if he needs anything at all, no matter how small he thinks it may be, we're all here to support him. Can't wait to hear his story. Roswell, Firewater. And that was from a fan of the show that had saw your TikTok videos. And, what do you think about that?
Wow.
You're speechless?
Yeah. And I'm listening, just kind of new to me, but y'all got to follow my story from the beginning. It's actually, like you said, it started yesterday. And like I said, just want to let y'all know what it's all about. I've been out a little over 24 hours, and I started working yesterday. I'm already working, but I don't want to get into, I got to follow the story.
Benjamin's getting a little emotional. Did you guys here with us on Twitch and on the panel right now, do you have any questions for Benjamin?
Well, I know Rebecca's got something to say about Firewater.
Rebecca, the floor is yours.
I don't even remember because Dirty Dan cut me off.
Dirty Dan, shame on you. Dirty Dan, do you have a question for Benjamin? Dr. B.
That's fine.
No, I'm good right now.
Patriot Mama?
I'm going to follow that story. I followed the TikTok account. I'm looking forward to watching that grow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm going to share the heck out of that because I think that is a story that a lot of people should actually watch and see.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
OEF?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes. Do you have a question or comment for Benjamin or anything that you would like to say?
Oh, no. As soon as we get done here, I'm going to check out his story, too.
Thank you. Thank you
just
very
as
much.
interested to see it.
Thank you. We help each other. Do you care if I tell them a little bit about their call yesterday morning?
No.
Normally, if somebody would call me at 7 o'clock in the morning, I would throw the phone against the wall. But not really. He did yesterday. And that was his first night, overnight. And he was feeling a little bit down. And me and him talked for probably close to an hour. And, I can understand him feeling down like that. But tell everybody what happened to you yesterday while he's at his first day of working. Tell him the guy that came up to you and what happened there.
Was out working, just walking around the property, and I had a guy pull up on me in an SUV, and he was like, I heard you're a chef. I was like, yes, sir, I am. And he was like, well, all can you do? And I told him I'm serve safe certified. I'm a master grill operator. I got over 20-something years in cooking. I had my own catering business, and just gave him a little history on me and told him I had some credentials for him. So as I'm working, again, on my first day out, I have to be there tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning to talk to this man about a potential job.
So he could have two jobs. He got out Friday. He's got a place to live. He's got, a job. He don't have all of his utility bills and all that stuff took care of. He's, he is just an inspiration to people. I mean, he's an inspiration to me. And he called me, I guess on his lunch break. He's like, hey, let me tell you what happened to me. I was out working. This guy was a restaurant stop. He's like, heard you can cook. And, he was just so excited, and I could hear it in his voice, and you can see the gleam in his eye, And we have a question there, Benjamin. Somebody asked, what's your favorite dish to cook?
I had my own barbecue catering business at one time, but I specialize in steaks, breakfast foods. You know, I cooked at Longhorn, Texas Roadhouse, Waffle House. I cooked on Fort Knox for the soldiers. Just kind of versatile in a lot of things.
Maybe see Dirty Dan.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
If I get a waffle maker, can you please be in charge of the waffles at Flockfest? Waffle House style. I will go to Waffle House and gather the butters.
It's not a Waffle House, it's a Waffle Home.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and I have told him about Flockfest, and hopefully he will be there with me. So sounds like you'll be flipping some waffles at Flockfest.
I'll make them.
Because I'm not even allowed to have super glue. You think I'm allowed to work a waffle iron? Like,
oh, wait. Why
I've
can't
been asking to get a waffle iron.
Why can't you have super glue?
Do you not remember the potato, Rebecca? Come on, enlighten them about the potato.
Oh no.
I made torch the potato. So I got doxxed on the internet pretty hard, but like back when I first started and I was having a fit about the masks and nobody was understanding my point of view. Back when all of this was still very much a conspiracy theory and everybody hated each other. I got doxxed on the internet pretty hard, and somebody paid money to send me a potato. It's actually a website, anonymouspotato.com. Yeah, and they'll write anything you want on the potato, and they wrote wear a mask. So I turned it into a sheep. Like, I stuck little feet in it. I put googly eyes on it, and we super glued cotton to it one night on a live, and there was
more cotton on her fingers than there was on the potato.
And then it died, right, because it was a potato and I poked holes in it. So
right.
It brought it in my
And
garage.
super glued it.
Yeah, well, yeah. And so a couple of flockers actually got a fake potato and made me an exact taxidermied portrait.
Mirrored.
Potato. Yeah, it was mirrored because TikTok's inverted and filtered. But yeah, so I'm also not allowed to have pocket knives anymore because I sliced my finger open in coals.
That's also partially my fault because I keep them very sharp.
Well, I told you back in March, and showed you my injury. So
yeah.
Somebody to ask on there a few comments up. Yes, Benjamin or Dr. B is on TikTok. Dr. B is just a name that he's going by for the show, and
it's scrolling at the bottom. That's his account, Benjamin Story 2022.
Yep, that is it. Do you guys want to continue, or do you want to take a break for a little bit and come back?
I need a break.
Okay.
I need a break.
For those of you watching on Twitch, we'll be back in how many minutes, Rebecca?
You want to do 8.5?
8.5 minutes. For those of you listening to the podcast, we'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Horror movies. Are you searching for a great internet horror talk radio show to listen to? Why, sure, that sounds quite spiffy. Then you need to tune into Deadpit.com. It's the original horror talk radio show. Deadpit is a show by the fans and for the fans. Uncensored and unbiased opinions are the goal of the show, giving fans honest reviews on new films and vintage classics of the horror genre. Make Deadpit.com your #1 horror station destination.
Hey everybody, it's John the Bod, aka the Bodfather. I have a new podcast entitled Beyond the Paranormal, which is on every Tuesday night on Beyond the Paranormal YouTube page, and we'll be streaming shortly on our Facebook page as well. If you want some information on the paranormal and cryptids such as UFOs, Bigfoot, Dogman, come and check out Beyond the Paranormal every Tuesday on Beyond the Paranormal podcast YouTube site, and also soon on our Facebook page. Keep checking back, folks. We're going to have a lot of great guests, a lot of great information. Have a good one.
Goose, DirtyDan, and Rebecca. Give them a break. They're not that bright.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Oh, wait. Why is it? Are we good?
Yes. Where's everybody else?
I don't know. Everybody else left.
Okay. They'll be joining us later. Firewater made a comment. Hey, Firewater, we just read your email there a little bit ago. Yours was the only email that we read this week, and Benjamin, do you want to tell Firewater, or I'm sorry, Dr. B, do you want to tell Firewater what that email meant to you?
Man, first of all, I appreciate you, man. How you doing? Good morning. And it left me speechless, and I really appreciate that.
Are you getting a little emotional over there?
Yeah.
Because one of the things that you said when me and you started talking a lot is that people never had your back, and you need to realize a lot of people are rooting for you, brother, and they do have your back, and you're going to gain more and more people rooting for you in your corner.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like I said, Dr. B is a little bit shy, but we're going to bring him out of that. Definitely going to bring him out of that. Firewater now says, hey, man, you're part of our family now. So.
Thank you, man. Thank you for that.
Hey, if you're shy, you're doing great.
Thank you.
He is coming out of it a lot. I mean, he really, really is. He has a great sense of humor himself because he tells everybody all the time that he's better looking than me. So he's obviously a little bit blind as well.
You the blind one.
No, brother, that's you. So.
We got OEF back with and he just left too. Okay.
And Firewater now says we will always have your back. So, and before that,
and let him vice versa.
Dad's bass guitar says, Dr. B, I'm rooting, and with a heart.
Thank you for that, man.
Beautifully, comma 8. Hello. I'm here for it. I can relate. We do conquer.
That's right.
I'll tell you about her later when we're off the show. She's a great, great, great person.
Shit mess, yeah. While we're waiting for Dirty Dan, Sonia sent me a video during the break that she wanted me to play for y'all.
Okay. So, yes, please play it.
Oh, it just kicked him out of the... I still see him. All right, we'll figure this out while we play the show. Let me do this. Hold on, it takes me a while to click the things.
Okay.
Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay.
You know it can be a source of joy for children when you see a boy enjoying a dog, or the expression on the face of a girl who is while being proud. This, of course, is one of the reasons why anti-pedophiles want all to be illegal.
I saw that earlier this morning, and I had the same reaction as some of the comments there. That enraged me when I saw that this morning. I mean, that this moron, I'm just going to be blunt, this fuckwad was able to get on there and talk freely like that about, and it was normal to him. That's a sick bastard, and there's only one cure for him, and I have it. I have several of them.
Can I say something?
Yes.
To the young lady that's doing this about the children and trafficking, I heard you say the system is messed up. It definitely is. I'm going to give you an example. A guy like me get caught with a dime bag, a $10 bag of weed will get more time than a child predator. It's crazy. It is crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Imagine.
But I will let you know if this make you feel any better. Where, like, I've been in prison and I've been in jail, and I promise you, people like that come across people like me in jail, it's not good for them. It's not good for them. I promise you. And I'm going to tell you how even more crazy that is. You got motherfuckers like that, excuse my language, but...
No, it's okay. Go right ahead.
That do the shit that they do, and I do little bad things. I mean, little small things. Nothing's more big than the other. I understand people might say that politically, but these fuckers do what they want to do, and then they bring them to the jail with guys that also committed crimes, but they isolate them. They try to keep them away from everybody else that's been in the same fucking jail. We all supposed to be in the same spot, but you commit a crime to the point where they put you by yourself because for protection. Don't protect them. Let them feel it. That's like you said. Somebody get arrested. I get arrested again for a $10 bag of weed tonight. It'd take me a month to get out of jail, and a child predator go and touch a little girl and stalk a little girl in Walmart. He'd be out of jail tomorrow.
The system is so broken on so many levels, from what you're saying to the CPS, DC, to down to the judges, right. Government officials. I mean, there's government officials that are on both sides. This is not left or right. I don't give a crap about who you voted for. These kids don't give a crap who you voted for. When they're getting rescued, do you think that they're asking who'd you vote for? Right. They don't care. This isn't about that. This is universal. It has nothing to do with political party. And the way I'm seeing it, how everybody thinks that, just because you voted for somebody, you're a pedophile. No, it's across the board. It doesn't matter. Right. But here we have politicians that have been indicted for these types of crimes, and their files are getting sealed. They're being protected. When I hear so many stories, when they do lock up, no matter who it is, a pedophile in the jail system, they protect them. Right. They isolate them.
They do.
And I said, no, let them into general population.
Right. Exactly.
Let them in.
Right.
Why are you getting protected? Why are we protecting them? But I tried to make everybody understand.
Shit's crazy.
How bad this is here's a scenario. Look at Big Pharma. They have the cure for cancer, but if they release the cure for cancer, there's no treatment. Without treatment, there's no money. Now apply that to the largest criminal business in the world. Why do you think there are so many children undocumented coming across the border? Why do you think the government allows it? Why do you think these pedophiles are getting lesser sentencing than, like you said? Why? Because without the pedophiles on the street and without the children, there's no money in the business.
You're exactly right. I mentioned this on the show a couple of weeks ago. It may even been longer. And this is something that, somebody told me about in our area. That's a place that's about an hour and a half away. And I'll ask you, Mama and OEF, there's a Walmart that remodeled their restroom. And in the women's restroom, they have urinals. Have you noticed anything like that in your area? Not particular Walmart, but just stores. They actually installed urinals. I saw pictures of this. This is sickening.
It's very, they're trying to normalize this, and they have been trying to normalize this for a very, very long time. I mean, there's videos of seminars that they're trying to treat pedophilia as, a disease that can be cured. They need to be, there's the interviews with, I'm still going to call them pedophiles, where they feel that just because they think about it and they don't act on it, they shouldn't be considered a pedophile. I'm sorry. If you are thinking as a grown-ass 60-year-old man sexually about a 4-year-old girl that's walking by you, you're a pedophile.
Yes.
Why should we sit here and wait for you to actually commit the crime? What if you slip one day? What, we're supposed to let you walk the street? Am I supposed to let my daughter near you? No. If you are thinking about it, you are one. Bottom line.
What can we do us people that really want to make a difference, what can we do to make a difference? I know that it does take, sometimes it seems like a miracle to get laws changed. In our state that we live in, Kentucky, if you're 16 years old and you want to go out with somebody that's 77, you can do it, and because 16 is the age of consent in Kentucky, and nothing will happen to you. What can we do to change things?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys have, if people actually take California alone. I believe, I forgot what the law was. I can't remember exactly, but they're trying to lower the age with consent. And then it was something about a 10-year difference or something like that. And it's lowered all the way down to, I believe, 14 years old. As far as the laws and stuff like that, every state is different. What I have been recommending, and Mikey is actually part of the political side of this with me, because he's more knowledgeable with a lot more of that. I'm getting more knowledgeable, but I've been telling a lot of people, you have every right to get involved with your state reps and find out what laws there are, what kind of sentencing there is, and team up with them, the ones that actually want to fight this, and start getting loud, start getting involved with bills that need to be written. That's why I'm going to Illinois, because there are people that actually want to work with us and sit down to do this. This is like federal legislation we're talking about. We want to fight this tooth and nail, so that, and everybody, and that's why part of the podcast is we're going to bring education about how you can get involved, who to email, who to contact. You go to your churches, go to even your law enforcement agencies. I believe every state, every county I am in contact with my county's child cyber crimes unit. So they are helpful with, how to get involved with certain things. There's book clubs everywhere. Why can't there be clubs, to spread awareness and see what you can do? Have meetings, have volunteer groups, see how OUR Rescue has the volunteer program online. Go get certified on there. And then, through OUR Rescue, you can we just got an email this week where we can actually have a rally sponsored by them. So we're looking into that with a place, a date, and all of that stuff. And OUR Rescue is going to get involved with, whoever wants to do this in their towns, their cities, their states. I have personally been on the phone, thanks to Mikey getting me in touch with somebody at OUR Rescue. And we spent a good half hour on the phone talking about what our mission is, what we're doing, how we're getting involved. She said, and she said specifically, the fact that we actually are getting loud with the reps, with the legislation, it is so important, because really, I mean, we can't be boots on the ground, but these laws are going to help change how these pedophiles are treated, that they can't get back out on the streets and reoffend. So that is so important. So once the podcast launched that we have coming, OUR Rescue, we are going to be working with them, where they're going to supply us with a rep to come on the show to speak on what they're doing, how to get involved. There's so many people we've lined up, and that's what a lot of our work has been put into, is getting connections, whether it's OEF's connections, being he's a military vet, also ex-law enforcement. He's got a lot of connections. Good morning, Mama's Robin. Mikey's got a lot of political affiliations, connections, all the way up to Ted Cruz. So OEF's also got some political, we have a circuit judge that goes after pedophiles. We have...
You're muted, OEF, if you want to talk. You got to hit the unmute button.
We have actual anonymous door kickers that are going to come on the podcast to talk about the reality of when they are kicking in these doors, what they're finding and what they're doing. There's so many different ways of getting involved, but on the, your city and state level, start with emailing your reps. Find out what's going on. Go to your churches, see if there's any groups that actually speak out on the awareness of this. If there isn't, start one.
That's great advice. OEF, do you have anything to add to that?
I do. I'm only going to tap in on this a little bit, because, boy, oh boy, do I got something for you.
And you're sharing it live right now?
Just a very, very small snippet. A lot of times you see when your group starts to come into a light where more and more people see what you're doing and they trust you and believe in you. I just got confirmation on 2 grand justices and 2 circuit judges. The person has video of them engaging in pedophile type material, and they don't want to bring it to law enforcement yet. They want us to look into it first.
That says a lot about your group. I mean, you know, you guys are doing the right thing.
Okay.
You know.
You did this to me live. Great. You just did this to me live. You couldn't wait to live. Okay.
Oh, sorry. But, I mean, in all honesty, when it comes to people seeing what we're doing, it's because of her, you know? She's the voice.
Oh, when she was on the show back in the fall, when we had the Ingersoll Lockwood representative, you know, I fell in love with her then. So, you know, and my hat is off to you. I wish that I had more time, and I've talked to Rebecca and DirtyDan about this. I wish I had more time to do stuff, you know, in my off time. And thank you. And that, I mean, those words aren't even enough to explain, you know, my appreciation for you. Thank you very much. DirtyDan, welcome back. Do you have any questions for him? We're going to.
I have one thing. To add on to what Sonia was saying too, and your question as far as what can you do to help, along with getting involved and doing all of that on a personal level, like at an at-home level, is you can educate your children. You can get more connected, step away from the societal norms of things, start teaching your kids about this stuff, start speaking up for your kids. And also, you know, that self-assurance, that centered point, making them confident and strong in themselves so that they're not susceptible to these types of prey. Because I feel like a lot of it comes from a place of not enough, right? And then these people show them attention, and then it's a downhill spiral from there. So if we change that relationship, if we change that standard of how we interact with our kids and how we raise our kids, then they won't stand a chance anyway.
Very true. I have an 11 and 12-year-old. My daughter was the victim of receiving a video. Thankfully, it was something that was flagged. I allowed her to. Now, my kids are very educated on the topic to the point that my daughter was in tears, but I feel that I needed to put some fear in them. But they do come to me with things. They do show me things. They know what to look for. You know, they want to get involved. They're going to help design an entire kid line. 2 of their friends are going to join in, and we're going to design an entire merch line just for kids, kid-friendly, on the merch site, so that they can get involved. And you know, they do speak to their friends about it too, which I find very important as well, because kids talk to kids about everything that they won't talk to their parents about. So you know, it's so important to educate and not put them in a bubble. We're living in a world of technology. It's everywhere. So when my daughter was targeted, a friend of hers, I allowed her to have a messenger app, her and her friend's messenger app was hacked by a pedophile. And he proceeded to send a video to all of her contacts, my daughter being one of them. So when my daughter woke up, she opened it thinking it was from her friend. Thankfully, it was a red flagged video. The video didn't even play more than a second. The whole app was completely taken down. 2 days later, I had the child cybercrime unit at my door over it because they tracked the video being open to my house. Well, to my surprise, hearing this, to their surprise, my daughter's 11, we sat down and we talked. And she's like, there is nothing you could have done short of putting your daughter in a bubble. It's going to happen. This is what we're dealing with out there. It is so infested with this stuff, especially the CSAM, especially because of being in lockdown for, 2 years. With all of this, these kids have become so addicted to technology. Parents have let that be the babysitter for their children. Even the Oculus. There are so many things that they are using. There was a case that turned up in New Zealand. where they tracked down somebody that actually was charging subscribers for pay-per-view, and on that pay-per-view they found the location. They rescued 14 children. The youngest child was 2 years old. They found all the equipment, everything, including the sex toys. They were live streaming to subscribers, assaulting these children on live. From that investigation, and I have the articles out there. I've done videos on it. It's been taken down, but I keep sharing it because I don't give a fuck. I need people to see this. I want people to understand how bad it is. So, there's also the castration. Everybody's like, oh, castration. Nah, you know what? I could give two craps about that, because you know what? They're going to use sex toys. They're going to use something. That castration does nothing for me. And there are women that are abusers as well. I have a story that I'm going to share today on TikTok. There are women as well. So, you know what? Castration does nothing for me.
I feel like they need animal therapy, like with horses, where they're tied up and drawn and quartered in the street.
No, hogs. What is it?
No. They pull them. You get 4 horses and you tie them. That's my favorite medieval torture.
I think they need firearm therapy.
And they pull them apart. They dismember them with the horses. I like horses.
But needless to say, my daughter never saw anything. I now have a connection to my child cyber crimes unit. And yeah, they are pretty savage. Actually, I just shared a case that their predator actually thought by throwing his iPad and everything into the river that they were never going to recover it and recover all of the material on that. That's how savage my county's child cyber crimes unit is. They got it. They got him. They got everything.
Good.
Well, that kind of leads us into our Second Amendment, doesn't it, Goose?
Yes, it does. That's exactly what I was going to say, and I was going to ask Patriot
Mama. I was
Mama.
going to say that because I wanted to compare it to that.
Please take it away, Patriot Mama.
No. Go ahead. No, that's you.
Well, no, you had a TikTok video, and I had heard about that before you posted the TikTok video. I shared your TikTok video. Everybody has a right. I mean, and like I said, when we started, we had a tragic situation, back in my area here, but I'm not blaming guns for it. I don't want to take people's right away. I mean, you shouldn't have to. There's a lot of things I could say about this. Let me get your guys' opinion so I can feed off you, so I can kind of take a breath here. So whoever,
I feel like here's my thing. If you take away people's rights to get guns, it's just like making drugs illegal. You're still gonna get locks. They're for honest people, right? If you wanted a gun, you're gonna get a gun. Just like if you want the drugs, you're gonna get the drugs, regardless of the laws, regardless of the whatever. It's gonna happen. So I feel like if anything, we need less gun restrictions, because it goes to the whole bank theory, right? You've heard the story. There's one guy with a gun in a bank and nobody else has a gun, and he's able to control the entire bank of people. But if every single one of those people has a gun, or even half of them has a gun, and now they got a gun on the guy trying to rob the bank, the situation's diffused, right? And here's my other thing, because we were just talking about this on the live. I don't know, was it this morning or yesterday? I can't remember. If you're not comfortable with guns, that's fine. That's totally okay. But just like with everything else, just because you feel that way doesn't mean that I have to feel that way. Doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to have a gun just because you're uncomfortable with it. If you want, you can stand behind me. Like, I got you. But those are my thoughts.
DirtyDan.
So we only ever hear the bad articles in the news, clearly.
Right.
For every one mass shooting, there's like 13 of them that are stopped because there's an armed citizen that eliminates the threat before it ever becomes a real threat to anyone else. But again, just like the whole child trafficking stuff, it's the media. We don't hear about all the good things that are being done with it. We don't hear about all the ones that they're finding or what they're doing. We don't hear about when the last one I heard about was a lady in Virginia at a cookout and a guy brought out an AK-47 style rifle. She pulled out her 9 and dropped them. 23 people's lives were saved that day by one lady who's not much bigger than my wife. Where's the national headlines for that?
They don't want that out there.
My point.
And you're not going to get them. I mean, and I'm going to be honest, I think it's BS. All these people, states, our state is not like that anymore. You had to have a concealed carry license to carry one. Bullshit. That's our right. That's our freedom. If we want to pack open, or if we want to conceal one, that is our right.
Trucker stop.
Yeah, we went on a road trip one time, found out the difference between a truck stop and a trucker stop.
Well,
that was fun.
What is the difference? Because Benjamin doesn't know what the difference is between a trucker stop and a truck stop.
Oh, allow me to.
Yeah,
we were
I'm confused.
We were in East. Okay, so a truck stop is like your Loves, your Pilot, right? They got the showers, they got all the food options. Sometimes they got like restaurants in them and shit, right? They got all the little like accoutrements that you can gather.
Amenities.
Yeah, accoutrements and amenities. Amenities for your accoutrements. Okay, so that's your truck stop. I love truck stops. Truck stops are so much fun. We were in the middle of East Bumfuck, and you got a Purdy Mouth, Kentucky, okay? Had to drive 5 miles off the fucking highway to find fuel, right? Because we were driving the diesel, so couldn't just be any gas stop, okay? So then we find this trucker stop. Literally, that was the name of it. It was a wooden sign, trucker stop. What was I, like 5 months pregnant?
Somewhere around 5-6, yeah.
Because it was right before we moved here. We were coming out to look at everything. So yeah. So I'm like, I don't care as long as it has a fucking bathroom. Otherwise, I'm squatting in the parking lot. Like, I gotta pee, right? And I'm like, well, this is a warm, fuzzy feeling, right? We're off to a great start. So we pull up, right? And he's getting, now mind you, we have Grace with us, right? So we leave Grace in the car. DirtyDan's getting fuel. There's some dude with like a crazy eyeball hanging out of his face, like fucking jerking off the gas pump to try and get it into his fucking minivan. So we're just letting that slide. I'm like, whatever, I gotta pee, right? So I go inside. There's this dude with this handlebar fucking mustache and a 6-shooter on his hip with spurs this size, eating a fucking sloppy Joe with some bitch behind the counter and a hairnet and a cigarette.
At 10:30 in the morning. 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 10:30 in the morning. And I'm like, I just need to pee. So as I walk past the saddle hanging over the fucking side of the booth and the used dirt bike that's up for raffle in the middle of the restaurant, I finally make my way to the bathroom, and oh God, I just have to be right time sitting there. Now, mind you, I don't have my phone with me. I realize this. I'm like, oh, right. So I'm taking a piss. I'm trying to squat, but I'm 5 months pregnant. So I look up, and there's this metal box on the wall, which looks like a tampon sanitary pad dispenser, right? Oh no! For 75 cents, you yourself can get a finger pleasure toy. It looks like one of those fucking little rubber for pleasure. I shit you not. I'm like, oh my God, I need to get out of here. So I like finish up my shit and I beeline it as the dude with the eyeball hanging out of his face runs into me at the door. DirtyDan's like looking for me, trying to get the diesel to fill faster in his car. So finally, I'm like, we need to go. We need to go now. So I take the dog over across the parking lot, and then I don't even know, what was the dude, like you like got in your car quick and like had to like cut him off.
Okay, so let me tell you my perspective of this, and that'll lead up to that. So none of this is an exaggeration. In fact, some of it is not even as exaggerated as it should be. When she says there's an old guy with a giant handlebar mustache and spurs this big, he had a fucking 44 mag, Dirty Harry style, sticking like barrel touching the floor as he's sitting down. I had to go prepay at the diesel pump, right? And this lady who is also cooking and smoking and answering the phone goes, "I'll be right with you, hun." And then she looks up at me and she goes, "Can I get you a burger?" As the ash falls into the pot she's cooking. And I'm like, "No, I just need the diesel pump on." She goes, "For that fucking thing?" I said, "Yes. Can I get 50 on the diesel pump, please? Thank you."
Oh my gosh.
I go back out. Rebecca is still nowhere to be found. This was about the time she was discovering the toy dispenser, I guess. I am trying to get it in my fucking car and it keeps kicking off. Finally get it. I go back in for a receipt. She's on her way out. I go to put some additive in and get something out of the trunk. She takes Grace to the bathroom. And next thing I know, Mr. Dangles is revving the fucking piss out of this rundown GMC Envoy.
Like, bitches, like, bouncing in the fucking parking lot.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, like, I see him trying to get it into gear. He's, like, revving it, trying to get it into gear. And I'm like, nope. Get right in my car. And he starts peeling off, headed right towards him. I said, nope. Scoot right the fuck over there. Park it sideways. I'm like, Grace P, no,
like,
get the fuck in. We're out.
Oh my God. So that's the difference between a truck stop and a trucker stop.
I'm so glad I asked.
Wow.
You guys have to go back and video this location.
No.
No.
Mr. Dangles. I was the same way.
Just like there's no. Oh, and Dr. B, you'll be happy to know that through our travels, Rebecca had to learn what a bowl of peanut was.
Really?
She.
I don't want to know. I don't even want to know. Don't say.
Oh, they're boiled peanuts.
Yeah.
No,
they're real.
They're literally.
You get a spoon in your
Especially in South Carolina and Alabama, Georgia, you got boiled peanuts. You got Cajun boiled peanuts. Yeah. Like a crawfish bowl, but for peanuts.
I do. Yeah, they're good.
Are they mushy?
Yeah.
Some of them are, but they're good.
Oh my God. Okay, we need to stop talking about
the ones that have been in the pot from the day or two before,
right?
That didn't make it in with the new batch. They're kind of like peanut butter but water.
But if you can get some good ones, they're good. You're right. We got them all over in the South in the crock pot. You walk in the gas station, it's cooking, waiting on you in the crock pot. You gotta take her to Columbia, South Carolina, and get her some. Man.
Are you up for that, Rebecca?
No, I won't eat boiled peanuts, and I won't eat fucking Vegemite either, okay? Because I've been to Australia. They tried to feed it to me on toast. That shit's nasty.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
She also had
where were we going with that story?
She also had to come apart when she watched me suck a crawfish head out.
You done what now?
I was pregnant, and you just like, no. You had to go sit at the other table.
What did you do to a crawfish?
When you eat crawfish, you break the head and the tail part. Mm-hmm. You suck the meat out of the tail. You squeeze and you suck the head. You toss them. You move on to the next one.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Dr. B gets me. Dr. B gets me.
Can we talk about CERN? Can we talk about CERN?
He want to make a joke. Really, he's fighting back to keep making a joke.
No. Benjamin knows me. Does anybody else want to say anything about the Second Amendment? Do you want to say anything about the Second Amendment, and the right to bear arms and stuff before we move on?
I'm a convicted felon, so I'm not allowed to carry guns. So, I mean, I feel like everybody should be able to have a right to protect themselves and defend their families. Definitely.
Okay, moving on to CERN. Do you guys know what tomorrow is? If not, I'm going to tell you. Headlines online show concerns for July the 5th as the not discerning CERN Hadron Collider experiment sparks July 5th doomsday conspiracies. What's really going on? Monday, or what is is that Tuesday? Tuesday.
No.
Tuesday.
No. Yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday, CERN fires this bad boy back up. And some people online think that it's going to open a portal to another world. We talked last week about the Dr. Leah Broussard is trying to break through to the mirror universe. Some people on Twitter have commented and said, let's see. Well, shit, I can't find where their comments are at. Okay, CERN is opening a multi-dimensional portal on July 5th and will be using dark matter. Everything is fine, someone on Twitter said. What if CERN really did open a portal to hell or something else? Another person tweeted. So they are going to fire this up. Just remember the God particle was found or discovered, 10 years ago? The last time...
July 5th, 2012. 2012.
Okay. And the last time CERN was online was like, what, 2017 or 19, something like that? And it's been offline maybe for 4 years. So,
yeah.
What do you guys think? Patriot Mama, we'll start with you. What's your thoughts on CERN starting this back up?
I've seen, I've seen a lot of people posting about it. Honestly, I haven't even had the time. So that's why I was like, I'm paying attention to you because I want to hear. I haven't had a minute with everything going on to even look at this. So,
well, some people claim that when they do this, this is going to take us into a different reality that we've been in previously, where Ed McMahon did not work for Publishers Clearinghouse. Yes, he did. Jiff was never Jiffy. Yes, it was. And they say that we're going to move into another dimension that way, and that we'll have more.
I don't know if it's so much moving into another dimension as much as merging timelines.
Can we put questions of what we're allowed to take with us and what we can leave behind?
So it's funny you mentioned that, Sonia. It's funny you mentioned that because one of my blockers, Amy, sent me this thing. I read it this morning on my live, and this is the best conceptualization of what could happen with CERN. So if I could read this.
Please.
Okay. Please do. So I came to this planet, this lifetime, to broadcast frequencies into the quantum field for the highest good of Mother Earth and all her relations. I use shamanic ceremonial music with gong bowls, etc. I teach people to hold this kind of prayer. If CERN is anything other than Mama Earth's highest good, she does what she does with frequencies. For me, at this age, with the world in the shit show that it is, and my focus is play the music. I am not interested in the arguments I see over forum, dogma, or conspiracy theories, which I have been studying for 35 years. They just keep cycling around. I pray frequencies for the highest. I trust Source and Mama Earth to use it wisely. So I feel like that kind of solidifies my thoughts on it, is that whatever it feeds off your frequencies, it's going to amplify frequency. It's literally dumping frequency and particles into our circle. So whatever frequency, whatever vibration you're at, it's going to amplify that. That's why everybody's cracking down and saying, like, don't drink alcohol, because it automatically lowers your frequency, and then it's just going to amplify that. So, and the other thing too is, like, you want your vibration low, which is the opposite of what we've been told. It's another thing that's been hijacked. We don't want to vibrate high. Vibrating high is that's anxiety. That's things vibrate high to get moving, right? You want a low vibration. You want a higher frequency, though. That's the frequencies are what the emotions are at, right? Love, empathy, those are high frequency emotions. Hate, anger, jealousy, those are low frequency emotions. So it's a low vibe, high frequency, change your oscillation.
Oh, we need to talk.
Well, here is a video that I found on TikTok. I'm gonna play the audio from it. It's 1:10, and everybody listen to this, and then we'll give our opinions after it's over. And it's talking about CERN.
I hope y'all are ready, because on July 5th, we get our superpowers. That's right, they're firing CERN up. Not only are they firing it up, but they're firing it up to the max. Here's some of the things that happened the last time they had it on. And it wasn't even the max. They changed Jiffy to Jiff. Good old Berenstain Bears. It will always be sex in the city, not sex and the city. Makes no sense. Oscar Mayer with an E. I don't care what you say, Flintstones has never had an extra T. It's never been Flintstones. That don't even sound right. Good old Ed McMahon and the Publishers Clearinghouse that they say he never worked for. Yes, he did. Oh, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. They're saying life was like a box of chocolates. That don't make sense either. Can't forget the world ended in 2012 when they turned it on too. Oh, it's also kind of funny that they're firing it up at 13.6 trillion electron volts, which is actually our debt too, $13.6 trillion in debt. So screenshot everything, handwrite everything, record everything. I don't know what's going to change this time around, but I'm thinking it's going to be some crazy stuff. What do they really expect when they're trying to collide all of these particles together at maximum speed? Man, they finna send us into a damn black hole. What do y'all think's going to happen?
I will tell you that in 2012, was probably the shittiest year in my 47 years on this planet. I had a lot of things happen in 2012. OEF, what about you? How was your 2012? And what do you think is going to happen tomorrow, Tuesday, when they fire the CERN machine back up?
To be honest, I don't really remember 2012. What do I think will happen? I'm not sure. I mean, if it's true what they say, then they said dimensions vibrate on different frequencies. But if you mix those frequencies, then you can bring the two together. But that's not exactly a good thing either. Because if you have mirror images of everyone, only God knows what's going to bring through. But I don't know. No idea.
Why am I getting like massive Stranger Things vibes?
Yeah, we're gonna all enter the upside down, and it's gonna be even worse than we thought it could be. No, we're not gonna do that. No, we're not gonna do that.
The right side back up.
Yeah. Let's flip it back over. Like, can we just twist the map the other way and go to the other side? Are we gonna go to the as below, or the so below? As above, so below. Are we gonna go to the so below?
I think we're living in it.
Or are we going into the as above?
I think we're going to go into the above, the good part.
I think it depends what frequency you're sitting at. I think that this is like another step of that ascension process. Honestly, like whatever frequency you're at, it's just going to amplify that for you. That's what I'm sticking with.
What do you think about what frequency they're turning it to is equal to our national debt?
Does that mean that cash isn't going to exist anymore and all of our debt's going to be free?
Oh, I wish all of our debt would be free. I mean, do you all think it's a coincidence, or do you think it's there's something more there?
I'm sure our debt will be even higher by the time they do it with this guy in office. But I think that's not a coincidence.
But if money is currency and we exchange our energy in order to gain that currency, it's significant.
Well, think about all the talk too. I mean, listen, I follow conspiracy theories. I just happen to go down this route. But I mean, all of the talk of crypto over the past 2 years, couple of years, I mean, it's completely all over the place. Yeah, I think that's quite interesting. I don't know. I think they look at during the pandemic when all the stores, nobody had money to give out change.
Yeah.
And they're blaming it. All of a sudden the money disappeared.
Oh yeah, the coins shortage must have been around the same time as the murder shortage.
And they claimed that they didn't want to exchange money, but you're touching my items. Why can't you touch my money? It didn't make sense to me. I don't know.
What do you think on CERN, Benjamin? If they fire that up and put us into another dimension, do you think that's all nonsense, or
some shit I like to see?
You would like to see us go into another dimension?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brutal and honest. That's what I love about you, my friend. That's one of many things.
Yeah. Just like I said, all that's kind of new to me, so it's crazy.
Now, Benjamin does not believe that UFOs or aliens could exist. So, we are going to present him with some cases, not today, but later on, and let him.
Sure, I can send you some links.
And let him make his own decision. OEF, Roswell, real or staged?
Real.
Benjamin.
Same thing as Groom Lake.
Exactly, man. I totally agree with you. Exactly. Benjamin, Roswell. You know the Roswell crash? There's supposed to be a UFO crash there. The Army put out a article saying that they'd recovered a captured UFO that had crashed. Then they came back and said it was a weather balloon. Are you familiar with that story? Oh. Okay. Well, we'll have to bring you up to speed on it. Patriot Mama, I think I've asked you that before. Real or not real, Roswell?
Real.
OEF, why do you think it's real?
Because I've been to Groom Lake.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you any more questions. Thank you very much, sir. I think it's real because, and damn.
Look at the big smile on his face now.
That was like, boom. You are my new best friend, buddy. I've always said it's real, and Benjamin, we'll talk about it later, but, you know, the technology just boomed after the Roswell crash. I mean, it skyrocketed, you know. Do you guys want to discuss anything? Is there anything you want to say before we close things out and so forth? OEF, we'll start with you.
No, I mean, I'm grateful for what we've been doing lately. Everything's been going really smooth. It's a hard operation to run, but she runs it well. She uses each one of our strengths. That's of our abilities, and he does it damn well, managing it through thousands of people. So it's been amazing so far. I think it's only going to get better.
Patriot Mama.
Yeah, you know, I know a lot of people are waiting for Dark to like the podcast and everything, but there's reasons why we wanted to make sure everything was in place because we want to make sure it's perfect. The amount of people that have been supporting us, standing behind us, you know, getting our message out there, helping us, the people behind the scenes that work in our group that have been nothing but amazing. I couldn't be more blessed to have met them along my journey doing this. You know, even all of the politicians and all of these people that are wanting to jump on board with us. We have something huge coming, really, really big. When I say we're going to burn this all down to the ground, we are going to burn it all down to the ground. A lot of people will say, you know, you're never going to stop child trafficking. You're just going to minimalize it. No, I'm not here for just minimalizing it. I am here to burn it down to the fucking ground. Because there is no child out there that deserves this. And with everybody on board and opening their mouths, their eyes, we can stop this. It's going to take an army. And I'm talking globally. We're going to burn it to the ground.
Well, if I can do anything to help you guys, please let me know. You have my contact information. OEF, I tried to email you yesterday twice, and I may have put it in wrong. I'm going to be sure to get your email after we end the show, so just hang around backstage. Benjamin, or Dr. B, is there anything that you want to say today? Anything you want to make people aware of or tell them about? Or
Right. Again, y'all follow Benjamin Story 2022, and we just got big plans about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be telling my life story and a lot of things that happened to me and how, like I said, how me and Goose met and just talking about the world and reality and the system and just all kind of shit. You just got to follow Benjamin Story 2022.
And before we do move on and close or before we move on to the question of the week responses, OEF, I do want to say on your page earlier this morning, I saw, or maybe last night, a video that you duetted with a corrupt police officer. Thank you for doing that. Please keep sharing those. We need people like that, you know, and sometimes people post these videos and they don't get out. But when people like, you know, you and Patriot Mama and Queen Rebecca, DirtyDan, you know, when you guys duet and share those, that gets it out to a wider audience. Thank you both, everyone, for doing that. Rebecca, we're not going to have a new question of the week this week, but what are some of the responses from last week?
Microphone.
Thank you. We had some really great responses. I forgot I muted. I'm pulling up the TikTok and I didn't want it to play. What was the question? I can't remember the exact question. I wrote it down somewhere and now it's
gone.
Give me just a second and I will tell you what the exact question was as you're pulling up the responses. The reason we're not doing a new one this week is because next week we're going to present one of the radio shows. I will be out of town. The question of the week was, are we truly free? Go ahead, Rebecca.
Or, I was going to say it with you.
Okay. Are we truly free or are we prisoners of our lives?
So we got some really cool responses. I think we are prisoners of our own minds. We are only prisoners of our own life if we allow it. We are the only ones that can control our thoughts and actions. I agree. Prisoners with the delusion of freedom, or it's a free-range farm and we are the tax cattle. We are both prisoners and prison guards of our own life. Self-reflection, accountability are the keys to set the life locks caging us. What does it mean to truly be free? I feel like the world has many different definitions depending on whose eyes you're looking through. So I love doing these because we get some really, really great insight and different perspectives from people, and it's really cool to just see how everybody's mind works with that, and that we can all really come together on certain things. And I think that that's what that's proving and showing, and I'm here for it.
Me too. I want to thank everyone that did reach out and respond to the question of the week. Like I said, we're going to have a past radio show next Sunday to get you through, and then we will be back on what would that be? Us coming back on July 17th, and we're going to be having a very special guest in August. I will go ahead and spoil it now, something to look forward to. Mama Goose will be logging on Here to Chew Bubblegum. I have to go set everything up for her to show her how to do it and so forth. But she will be...
We also have a special guest on the 24th.
Yes, we do. So we will have her on, and people have asked for it, especially Ship Mess. So she's going to be on the show. Dr. B, I want you here when my mom's on. We'll be able to look and see her on the screen. And I'm going to try my best to embarrass the hell out of her. I want to thank everyone.
Trying there.
What's that, Dirty Dan?
Not much trying.
I want to thank everyone for listening. Our shout-out TikToker of the week is Benjamin Story 2022. Like, share, and follow. I want to remind everyone to check out upcoming episodes of Reading with Rebecca, Cooking with Dirty Dan, and The Shipwreck Show. Dirty Dan, take it away.
And as always, want to thank a couple friends of the shows. We have our very own friend of the show, DJ Nikki, and his company, Carbon Capture Shield. Go check them out, carboncaptureshield.com, see what they are trying to do to make this world a better place and how you can too. Don't forget to check out our friends over at Adventures with Purpose. You can check them out on YouTube and see what they do, adventureswithpurpose.com. It's also Sam the Adventure Man. And you can check out their website, adventureswithpurpose.com. And don't forget, as we're talking about spreading messages today, Till Valhalla Project, spread the message, spread the word, spread the awareness. That is all.
I want to say special thanks to Carlin for all the voiceover work, and be sure to check out friends of our own show that have that friends. Be sure to check out and support friends of our shows that have their own shows. And we do want to add your guys' podcast to this list when you get up and going. So please, Patriot Mama, email that to me, and I'll add you on this list. Be sure to check out CK and Uncle Bill over at deadpit.com, Talk Junkie and Retro Cult with Justin Perkins, Jordan and Brad of Down on the Holler, Elliot Gertie and Beagle over at spookyfamilypodcast.com, the Mountain Mysteries podcast with Chris Sloan. And if you miss Cronkite, you can find him, Snowman and Large Marge, now over at Paranormal Trucker. Don't forget about Beyond the Paranormal podcast with John Marshall. And if you want to awaken more, be sure to check out Rebecca Short on TikTok and Twitch. That'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now.
And as Rebecca has been saying lately, not only awaken more, but laugh because she makes funny videos.
She does.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.